But the traumatized residents of the Belmer are desperate for the answer to another major mystery. Why the plane crashed? A 747 should be perfectly capable of flying on 2 engines. So what made Flight 1862 suddenly nosedive just minutes from an emergency landing at Schiphol Airport?
Raise the flag! Get the gear down!
Investigators study the section of wing recovered from Gooimeer Lake. It's clear this damage would have reduced the plane's lift. They also realize that key flight controls lost hydraulic power when the engines broke away. But if this damage was severe enough to down the plane, how did Captain Fuchs keep it flying steadily for another 8 minutes? It's a paradox. Then, 18 days after the crash, the team gets some good news. Experts in the USA have retrieved the information from the damaged flight data recorder. The technical readings it contains prove to be the final piece of the puzzle. They reveal in chilling detail what finally downed Flight 1862. Investigators know that metal fatigue caused one engine to shear off LL-1862 and smash off a second engine. The incident also destroyed a section of the right wing's leading edge and disabled key controls.
Mayday, we have an emergency.
But the damage was clearly not severe enough to down the plane immediately. Why did it suddenly spiral out of control a full 8 minutes after the Mayday call? The team drafts in test pilot and aeronautical engineer Geert Tikelaar to find the answer. He analyzes thousands of technical readings from the 747's flight data recorder. After 8 months of hard work, Tikelaar has a dramatic new insight into what happened to Flight 1862. For the first time, he's able to explain the complex relationship between the loss of the engines, the mangled wing, and the damaged controls. He discovers that although the crippled plane could still fly, a crash was inevitable as soon as it tried to land.
De crew had geen keuze.
The crew didn't have a choice. They could do nothing else. They were doomed to crash.
The flight data analysis finally reveals why LL-1862 nosedived without warning after pilots kept the jet airborne for a full 8 minutes. And how hundreds of people on the ground were left seconds from disaster. 8 minutes to disaster. Defective fuse pins holding the inner engine to the wing snap, causing the plane to lose not one, but 2 engines. This catastrophe also damages a 10-meter stretch of the wing's leading edge, causing a major disruption of airflow over it. This reduces lift on the right-hand side and makes the 747 roll to the right. Captain Fuchs has also lost 2 hydraulic systems, controlling key anti-roll devices. He only manages to wrestle the jumbo back to level flight by pushing his remaining controls to the limit. The flight data analysis reveals that his current airspeed of 280 knots is the key. It's just high enough to get sufficient lift out of the right wing to keep them aloft. 39 seconds to go. 5 kilometers from the Belmer apartment complex. Now Captain Fuchs lifts the jumbo's nose to slow the plane down for landing, unaware that this routine procedure will have fatal consequences. The flight data reveals that this change in angle worsens the disruption in airflow over the mangled right wing. The result is a further loss of lift on this side of the plane, and it starts to roll again. Captain Fuchs struggles to pull it level. But his airspeed has now dropped below 260 knots, reducing lift even more. This time, his damaged controls cannot save him.
Controlling problem.
30 seconds to disaster. As the roll and loss of lift reach a critical point, the 338-ton jumbo plummets earthward.
Get the kid out.
1862 going down.
LL 1862 nosedives from 2,500 feet. Microscopic faults in two 14-centimeter long components lead to the death of 43 people. Rescue workers found the bodies of 16-year-old Guillermo and 14-year-old Graciela the morning after the crash, just meters from where their home once stood. Medical experts believe they were killed instantly. After the disaster, the children's parents, Marlena and Stanley, moved to another part of Amsterdam. They couldn't bear to live in the area where their children died.
Het is niet makkelijk, dat geef ik ook toe.
It's not easy to lose your child or your children.
Maar je kan...
But you can get strength from the good times you've had with them.
De fijne momenten wat je met ze hebt gehad. En de herinneringen...
Memories from their birth to their death. No one can take away from me.
Dat neemt niemand me af. En ik weet dat ze hier zijn. Ik voel gewoon...
I know they are here. I feel their presence. A good atmosphere.
The apartments in the crash zone were demolished, but their foundations remain. Nearby is a permanent memorial to the victims. But the disaster also leaves another legacy. Boeing goes on to strengthen all 747 engine-to-wing attachments, including fuse pins. It also rolls out a more stringent inspection regime, with new ultrasound testing to detect metal fatigue. The changes brought about by the Schiphol crash make every 747 flying today a safer aircraft.